Hello everybody, it's Andrew Hutchings here, still not a licensed physician, still never giving medical advice, and this is another video for my fiance that I will post on YouTube for everyone else to watch about hallucinogens for her class something on drugs, and it's one of her topics. So hallucinogens, it's a very broad, often misused term. So you have psychedelics, you have dissociatives, and you have deliriants. Psychedelic drug, first of all, hallucination means seeing something that is not there. So out of all the drugs that are called hallucinogens, only deliriants will actually cause hallucinations. You may be walking down the street and you talk to your friend for a while, but in reality, they're not there. Or it's a bush, or it's a wall. You may be sitting down and you think you just went and put some clothes in the washing machine, you turned it on, you're waiting for it, but in reality, you never got up. Good way to explain, it's stuff happens that did not happen. Your brain fully thinks that it happened, or thinks that something's there, but it's not there, or you didn't do it, or it didn't happen, really messing up reality. Okay, so those drugs are the first one I think of is diphenhydramine, which is in Benadryl, an over-the-counter antihistamine medication. Now, I've actually just taken 3 of them one time for allergies, or I don't remember what it was, but I actually had some hallucinations. I was watching a movie and I was tired and I would fall asleep and I thought I did stuff that I didn't actually do. But usually people will not experience hallucinations unless much larger doses are taken. Probably it was just because I was in the perfect sleepy mindset and I was already falling asleep and my brain was dreaming, but then it mixed with the diphenhydramine and I thought the dreams were when I was actually awake, and yeah. I did not do that on purpose. I just didn't think that 3 of them would do anything. I mean, it didn't do anything bad, but yeah. I know people that have taken 10 or 15 or 20, I don't remember exactly how many, and they really were when I took 3 for allergies, it's when I was asleep that I thought I was awake. But then the people who purposely take a lot of it, they're awake. Like I said, talking to somebody and then somebody's actually not there. Or walking their dog, except they don't have a dog. Another drug that can do this is scopolamine. I do not remember what plant it's in. Just scopolamine's a lot less, is it atropine? I'm pretty sure scopolamine, but I don't remember if atropine does this or if it has just anticholinergic action. Not that important. Bottom line is deliriants do what I just said. If you're interested, just search scopolamine or search deliriants, anticholinergics, and you can find a list of them. So, what would you rather hear about next? Disassociatives or psychedelics? Let's go into psychedelics. Psychedelics are drugs like LSD, psilocin, which is in magic mushrooms, mescaline, which is in cactus, and a wide range of synthetics. The psychedelic phenethylamines, the psychedelic amphetamines, the tryptamine derivatives, LSD derivatives, the really modified psychedelic phenethylamine derivatives, because you can add on this extra benzyl group with other stuff, and then it binds to part of the receptor they don't normally bind to, and it causes super activation, and yeah, those ones are called NBOME or NBOH. It's been a long time since I've learned about and researched all this stuff. So yeah, psychedelics. You know examples of them. What do they do? Well, psychedelics primarily work through agonism of the 5-HT2A and 5-HT2C receptor in the brain, which leads to, I think, but double check, because like I said, it's been a long time, like almost 10 years since I've learned about and researched this stuff. But I think it decreases activity in your thalamus, and perhaps it's just correlated with, or perhaps it's the cause of an increase of other brain activity, because it seems to be like a regulatory mechanism that becomes disactivated. So normally you go through life and your brain has to decide, this is important, that's important, that's important, everything else, ignore it. It's like if you're paying attention to, have you seen the studies where like they have someone like count how many people walk by or something, I don't know, and then like they have someone in a gorilla suit walk by and they don't even notice it? Well, you can, if you have people paying attention to something and then someone does something really weird, they often won't notice. Like I've actually done that in class on purpose. Like I'll stand right next to the professors here. I'll stand right over here and I'll do something, and then afterwards I'm like, "Hey, did anyone notice I did this?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" I was just bored and curious a couple weeks ago. But yes, psychedelics disable that control, decrease the activity of, and at certain dosages, pretty much completely disable the control mechanism that filters out the unnecessary information. By unnecessary, I mean what is considered unnecessary to immediate and long-term survival. And of course, that is always different depending on what your situation is at the moment. On psychedelics, the background noise that your brain normally filters out will be very loud. All the stuff going on that you're not normally focused on will come into focus a lot. Colors, brighter. Sounds, like I said, louder. And I don't know exactly why this part is that I'm about to say. Perhaps it's just overload of information. Perhaps it's normally that things really are not static, but your brain creates a static image or representation in order to reduce information and make survival easier, because we don't know. So if you are in one spot and something moves, it seems like it's moving. But now say you're moving the same way that something else is moving, you both seem to be still. So what if everything is actually moving in all sorts of ways, but because we're all moving the same way, it seems like nothing's moving, or maybe things are all moving differently, but the brain corrects for that. I don't know. You don't know. Does anybody know? But psychedelics at large enough doses will also cause distorted images. So things may seem to like breathe, like pay attention to here. Like maybe a wall will seem to be getting bigger and then going in. Perhaps you look at a piece of wood and your brain like predicts based on the pattern of it what it could look like, and it seems to be flowing like a river. Your brain does a lot of stuff, especially when the control mechanisms are turned off, and has lots of predictive action. Plus you're getting more information to begin with, plus your predictive action, so you look at something and it can start to move or create patterns. And the breathing effect at high enough dosages in the right circumstances, auditory stimulation may become mixed with visual stimulation, and vice versa, and other things. Tactile may cause visual. I think you get the idea. There's too much coming in, and the brain accidentally, or whatever the reason is, parts activate in response to things they normally wouldn't respond to. So yeah, psychedelics enhancement and increase of the information coming into your brain. Disassociatives, on the other hand, are the opposite. They will decrease how much sensory information your body brings in from the environment, which leads to more focusing on internal information in your brain. Now, of course, they alter brain function in stimulatory and depressant ways, like it's mixed. But the main action is that they decrease information from your environment and sensation of your own body. So say you've got some painful joints and you don't feel that great, you take a disassociative and you feel awesome. You'll feel like you're 12 years old again, no pain in your body. Say you get your arm blown off, you take enough of a disassociative, you won't feel your missing arm. Now, you may also be in a seemingly comatose state at high enough dosages, but yes, you would not feel your arm. Examples of disassociatives are ketamine, phencyclidine, PCP, dextromethorphan, DXM. There's a lot of other examples, but those are main ones, and I also would rather not get into listing a bunch of them. Big difference between the PCP and ketamine. PCP was initially meant to be used as ketamine is currently used. Sadly, ketamine is not used as much as it should be used, considering that it's essentially impossible to kill somebody with it. It has like almost no side effects and gets rid of pain. Whereas opioids and general anesthetics can kill you really easily and diminish pain. They don't block pain, they diminish it. So if you're in a lot of pain or you're having surgery done, it's a lot smarter to take that safe medication that can't kill you, that you can just take a ton of, completely cut off the pain, rather than take extremely dangerous medications that will possibly kill you if you take enough of them to diminish the pain enough that it doesn't bother you. But they also just, in surgery, try to just keep you unconscious, because then you don't notice the pain. Or they try to mess with your memory, because, you know, if you don't remember that you felt horrible and like you're gonna die, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Yeah, pain and suffering doesn't matter if you don't remember it too well. But still, it's very dangerous what they do. So PCP was originally meant to be used like ketamine is currently used, but the issue with PCP is it also is a stimulant. It's a dopamine norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor with, I'm not sure, maybe some serotogenic action, but primarily dopamine norepinephrine. Meaning that as you take more, you get more stimulation. So the more pain blocking you get, the more stimulated you are. Not necessarily the best combination. It's how you get the certain phrase I am thinking of, but I won't say it. The people on PCP who do crazy stuff. When you can't feel anything and your mindset is altered and you're stimulated and awake and able to walk around, you're a lot more likely to do crazy stuff than if you can't feel anything, your mindset is altered, but you're relaxed and sitting in a chair at home. Also, if you give it to a soldier who just got his legs blown off, well, instead of being like, it's gonna be like, it's a good idea to be more on the relaxed, sleepy, not so energetic side when you have something like that happen. It's also not as useful for surgeries if your patient is very awake. Now, if you need to do a surgery with the patient responding to you, great. But if you want to do a surgery with the patient like not wanting to go walk around and jog around, run around, ketamine's a better idea. Mix the ketamine with a little bit of benzodiazepine, now you've got the incredibly super safe anesthesia combo. Benzodiazepines also aren't going to kill you. Ketamine, not going to kill you. Benzodiazepines, not going to kill you. Does that not sound logical to you? Now, of course, sometimes you need the heart rate and the blood pressure to be extremely low. I get that. But if you don't need that, you should be using the safe options. So yeah, we've gone over the 3 classes of hallucinogens. Deliriants, which are the real hallucinogens that actually make you see things and think you're experiencing things that either aren't there or aren't happening. Psychedelics, which increase the amount of sensory information that goes into your brain. And disassociatives, which decrease the amount of sensory information. Hope you like this video. My website is andrewhutchings.org, where you can hire me for consultations, coaching, plans, etc. By the way, this is originally a fitness, health, and science channel. I mean, this is a science video, but originally like fitness and health. No medical advice on my website. I love giving medical information, but I cannot give medical advice. But it's not advice if I don't tell you to do it. Keep that in mind. And my book on tendinitis, which, unlike when you go to a doctor for tendinitis, actually works. And it works very quickly, like 3 to 4 weeks, is on Amazon, a systematic guide to defeating tendinitis. Please like and subscribe, and my voice is tired from talking because I already had a little sore throat,